This load screen demonstrates one of the cooler features of the game. Basically, it'll take stuff from online that other people have made and download it onto your game, and you'll encounter random creatures, buildings, etc. that have been made by other people. Now, one of my friends asked if he should torrent the game as opposed to buying it. I don't think so. Some people have come up with really creative stuff as opposed to the generic stuff that Maxis makes, and not getting those things onto the game can really take away from some of the spirit. One thing that's always bothered me about this cutscene, if the creature now breathes air and can't live underwater, how can it swim to the surface? I don't know, maybe I'm just nitpicking. Also, this cutscene demonstrates one of the cooler features of my computer's graphic ability. Bam! Pop out. The creature's shadow keeps going, but it completely disappears as it goes on. I don't know if you can see that. So this is one of the more in-depth parts of the game because you're controlling one of the creatures, rather than like a select group of them. Now when you encounter another creature, this is where you start to really develop the creature's personality. You can decide whether to befriend it or to attack it. Now naturally, me being me, I decided, well, let's flip a coin. So I decided heads will be, let's kill the creature and eat all of them, and tails was, let's befriend them. And of course it landed on heads. So, without further ado, a bloody massacre. Combat works kind of well on this stage. You've got a bunch of different attacks based on what parts your creature has, and you use them by pushing buttons. It can be a bit hit or miss though. For example, poison is a ranged attack, and sometimes it works at point blank, and other times you're too close. There are a lot of variables I can only assume that determine how far away a creature is, or something, I don't know. For some reason, sometimes it works at point blank, and sometimes it doesn't. It's like Action 52 in a way. Oh gosh, I just compared Spore to Action 52. I'm going to go to hell now. So yeah, at this point, I am now officially massacring a species. I'm a murderer. I'm a monster! In the original version of this game, the combat was a bit more bloody. I don't know, maybe I just don't have blood turned on or something, but originally it was much more graphic when you ate a creature. I can only assume that they took it out of the game to be more kid-friendly, or maybe I'm right and I just do have an option turned off or something, I don't know. Also, I forgot to mention this. Before the creature stage, there was originally a fish stage in between the cell stage and the creature stage, but they took that out for some reason. I don't know why. I would have loved to be able to control a fish. I hate being locked into having a land creature. It would have been so awesome to have like an underwater civilization of sea creatures. Maybe I'll petition Maxis to put in an expansion in it or something. Now here's one of the more odd features of the game, and yes, I just jumped there just to see if it would work. There are bones lying around, apparently from dead creatures, and you tear them up, and then you're able to staple them onto your creature in evolution. I don't know, it's kind of... I always thought that was kind of odd. But this is even weirder. It's a kid's game, and I don't know, maybe my mind is just in the gutter or something, but the creatures kind of wiggle their butts at each other, which seems kind of suggestive to me for a kid's game. I don't know. Maybe it just, like, barely crosses the line, or maybe I'm just being a baby or something. I don't know, I just kind of thought that was weird. And now here we go to advanced creature creation. Now this is the part where I really like to laugh at the theory of evolution. So, I'm trying to make like a totally unworkable creature, but I'll make an effort to do something that kind of makes sense. The feet will still be on the bottom of the creature as is usual. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm getting lag. The video is lagging while I'm recording this audio. I hope it doesn't end up backing up. Oh well, I'm just gonna have to deal with it for now. I have the computer set for high performance right now, so it really has no excuse. Operating system fail. Oh, I know. Let's put an ear on the creature's chin. Speaking of laughing at the theory of evolution, a couple of friends of mine and I kind of got into a debate as to whether the game is about evolution or intelligent design. But my argument is pretty simple. The player is the intelligent designer. I mean, it's not like you're randomly creating the creature. You're taking parts and you're putting them on the creature. Actually, there was a guy who tried to argue that evolution was like that, like a Mr. Potato Head. And he just took random parts and put it together, but in doing so, he hinted that there was an intelligent designer. Philosophy fail. Now I like this feature. You can test run a creature. And this is actually pretty important because as it gets more complex, occasionally things will clip into each other. So I just test all of the animations to make sure everything kind of works out. It's not always perfect. In fact, it never is. But, I don't know. I kind of like being able to make sure that it doesn't end up looking totally weird. Not that it really matters with this creature. I mean, he's got an ear growing out of his chin. Some of the animations look kind of odd if the creature doesn't have arms, but that's okay because in game, if it doesn't have arms, it generally won't do animations that require arms. Another thing you can do in test mode is to take pictures and record videos and stuff like that, and even animated avatars. And I was going to record a video because I thought one of the animations was kind of silly looking, but apparently I don't know as much about this feature as I thought I did because the video would not f***ing turn off. You can upload directly to YouTube. I chose not to. Let's just get right back into the game. Alright, now it goes through this cute little animation of the creature hatching. Now, if you're like me, some of the parts will clip on the baby models of the creature, but it doesn't last that long. So, it doesn't really matter. This is how the game teaches you how to do everything. When you add new parts to the creature and gain new abilities, it does it by having the mother teach the baby. Although sometimes it doesn't really work. Like, for example, she just spat at me. It doesn't teach you how to use all of the things properly, too. Like, the first time I was playing this, when I got charge, I thought that it was, like, you could do it at point-blank range, but apparently you can't. So, you have to be at a certain distance to do charge. But the game didn't tell me that, so I didn't know. So a lot of it kind of is trial and error. But for now, let's go harass another species. Sneak doesn't always work. The Phlegellums only give you a certain amount, so... And let's pull out the coin. The coin's verdict? Death! So let's harass this species right here. Well, no. I'm going to not do what the coin says. I'm going to think for myself. Oh, who am I fooling? So you see, as you gain new abilities, you'll become better and better at combat. Or, alternatively, you can become better and better at charming things and allying with them. But I chose not to ally with creatures in this. I don't know, I have a masochistic coin. It keeps landing on heads. Now here's one of the more idiotic things that I like to do. Whenever I see a new part to grab for evolution, I'll go ahead and just pick it up instead of doing whatever I was doing it before. And I think the part of the reason why I do that is if you die after collecting some parts, you don't lose the parts that you collected. Instead, it just gets passed on to the next creature. And you can die an infinite number of times. And this is how sprint works. You can turn it off in the middle of the sprinting, but whether or not you do, you still have to recharge it for the same amount of time. And every ability you have has to recharge. Recharge times can range from, it doesn't even matter, to completely idiotic. Like, the charge takes a really long time to recharge. And sprinting and sneaking and stuff, that takes a long time to recharge. It can get a bit hard to survive sometimes, because recharging certain things just takes too long. One problem I have with combat is that I tend to fall into a routine where, like, for example, right here, for every creature I encounter, I'm spitting at it and then charging it down. I get into a routine like that, but the great thing about this game is you can break out of the routine by just taking away certain features of the creature, or adding new things so that you develop a new combat style. Note also the way that the creatures go extinct, they, like, float into the sky. What was I talking about? I was going to say something, but I've completely forgotten what it was. Alright. Let the coin decide what we're going to do to the next creature we encounter. Of course. Let's kill it! Alright, men! Ready! Charge! Ha ha ha! So at this point I'm becoming infamous for just, like, being a complete jerk. Nothing can stand in my path. Creatures tremble before me! Only one thing can stop me! And that thing is the YouTube length restrictions.